1976 was a strange year in the history of Jethro Tull. Though saying that, there were plenty of strange years in Tull's history. But here we go. On the 23rd of April 1976, they released the album Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. On the 26th, they recorded a TV special for UK's London Weekend Television, which had the entire Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die album performed live, except for an occasional backing track here and there. This TV special was shown in the UK, but almost 2 months later, in June, and it received positive reviews and it seemed a lot of good fun. The band were in good form, the performances were excellent, and like I say, it was positively received. The only problem being, by that time, the album had exited the charts. Now, from the 1st of May 1976, the band performed 12 concerts around Europe, performing selected tracks from Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. And during these performances, these tracks really came alive and they shone. But by the time they had started their American tour in July, their set list only included the title track, the rest of the tracks being discarded. In the autumn, we received the news that Tull would be returning to the UK to tour early the next year, and that the new album would be called Songs from the Wood. But what did that title mean? Songs from the Wood, like Songs from the Forest? Or in England, good ale is stored in wooden casks. Therefore, getting a beer from the wood implies getting something special, something that care and attention has been taken over. As the year drew to a close, every time you picked up the music press, every time you read the music press, it was punk this, punk that, the Damned, the Sex Pistols, the Ramones, everywhere you looked. And what did Tull do? They released a Christmas single, a delightful little ditty about druids, mistletoe, fertility rites, and celebrating winter solstice, the old pagan festival that falls either on December the 21st or the 22nd, rather than Christmas Day the 25th. Solstice is the extreme of winter, the shortest day of the year, and Tull's song was encased in a sort of progressive folk with oscillating time signatures and a flutter-tongue flute solo. What else? Actually, when you come to think of it, that's quite punky in itself. But it was originally written by Ian specifically to have a hit Christmas single. I guess having seen the royalties pour in from Slade's So Here It Is Merry Christmas or Roy Wood's I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, I guess it would have made for a good retirement fund. The band's record label, Chrysalis, wanted to market the Pagan Carol as a Christmas song, so Ian Anderson sent it to Mike Batt of the Wombles to add a dose of Yuletide cheer. The new arrangement fell flat with the band, thank Christ, so the label rolled out the original version in early December. Too late to make any top 10 holiday lists. That was somewhat sad for me, Ian Anderson said. It would have been rather nice to have a top 10 hit and been on the Christmas edition of Top of the Pops. Also, though the band at that time was probably at its best, the seeds were being sown of musical discontent and personal differences between certain people. Within a year or two, it began to feel to me as if the cohesiveness we had was getting lost. That was partly, I guess, because of the pressures and frequency of our touring. Things were quite stressful back then. It felt as if I was in charge of a juggernaut that could very easily run off the road. So Tull and the Wombles? Songs from the Wimbledon Common? Maybe not. The New Musical Express, the 25th of December, 1976. The other Wednesday, when the Top of the Pops bosses summoned famous pop group Jethro Tull before them to play their new record Ring Out Solstice Bells on the programme that very same day, until they realised that they'd mislaid 3 members, including leader Ian Anderson. As we know, an appearance on the programme guarantees an immediate increase in record sales. So up at the Tull office, the scramble button was pressed. A distress call for Martin Barr to phone the office was broadcast, and luckily he heard it. Barry Barlow was located by telephone after the office had phoned every Barlow in the Brum area. But Ian Anderson was still adrift and failed to respond to tannoy calls in every major department store in Oxford Street. Eventually, after Tull's accountant's wife heard the capital distress call and telephoned her husband, who had just been with Anderson, he was located in a boutique. A hurried recording session was arranged to lay down a backing track, and with only minutes to spare, all members of Jethro Tull made it to the top of the pop studios. On the day of the programme, Solstice Bells sat at number 27 in the pop charts, and when the next charts were released, it sat at number 27. Solstice Bells first came out as a limited edition EP. I think there was about 20,000 copies released, and it came with March the Mad Scientist, which was a wonderful acoustic gem from Ian, Pan Dance, which was originally written for dance troupe Pan's People when they opened for Tull at the Rainbow Theatre in 1974, and the very caustic, biting Christmas song from 1969, the B-side of Love Story from 1969. Tull did indeed tour the UK in February 1977, showcasing their incredible new album, Songs from the Wood. But that's a story for another time, for next time I think. Thank you for listening. Please stay safe, stay well, please subscribe to the channel, please leave a comment in the comment section below. But most of all, like I said, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video.